Yo, what's up, dudes and dudettes? Hope you're feeling good and doing good, and more importantly, I hope you see the connection between doing good, meaning doing things that are awesome for you, for others around you, and that improve your circumstances, and feeling good. Have you ever heard the quote, "The gates of history turn on very small hinges"? In other words, the seemingly small choices that you make daily eventually become the direction of your life and your destiny. Or like Tony Robbins said, it's your decisions, not your conditions, that determine your destiny. Now, I promise this isn't some philosophical discussion about whether you believe or should believe in destiny or not, although that would be a blast. The main idea here is that you are the main player in your story. And ultimately, your small, mid-sized, and large choices will have a significant impact on where you end up. I remember as a young boy growing up on the coast of Portugal, and one summer the city had this program where we could sail on these tiny, super cute little boats. Well, I learned about how to direct my sail, how to capture the wind, how to use a rudder, how to aim where I was going. Well, my friend, this is what you're doing in your personal life as well. Where are you headed? Where are you aiming? Every once in a while, you may want to check yourself, right? Check your compass, check your rudder and your sail to make sure that you're catching the right wind out there and headed in a direction that you actually want to end up at. Have you ever seen the movie Gremlins? It's this old show that honestly is a bit disturbing. I don't think I thought that when I was your age, but it's kind of wild now that I see it again as an old man. Anyways, the show Gremlin is a classic horror comedy film that follows a young man named Billy Peltzer who receives the cutest furry creature as a Christmas gift. This alien creature, a mogwai, by the way, if you're curious, which he names Gizmo, is like adorable, and it seems to be harmless. Honestly, I think when I was your age, like I wanted one. Of course, I can't have them, but however, there are some really strict rules for caring for Gizmo. No bright lights, no water, and no feeding after midnight. Of course, this is a horror show, right? So the rules get broken, and as a result, Gizmo spawns like right out of its like back a brood of like mischievous, monstrous creatures called gremlins, and these gremlins wreak havoc on the small town, causing incredible chaos and destruction. Of course, it all ends well. You know, Billy Peltzer gets the girl, but that was like one of my favorite shows growing up. So why am I telling you this? Well, I'm going to do the best I can to draw a comparison here. I'm probably going to fail miserably, but I'll give it a go. It's quite likely that at some point in your young life that you're going to be around vaping. It's also called e-cigarettes, mods, jewels, e-cigs, vape pens, tanks, pod mods. Maybe you know someone right now who vapes. Maybe it's a family member. Maybe it's a friend or a cousin or whomever. At some point, someone may even ask you like whether you want to join in and try it out. You may even think about it. Or maybe this is something that you're experimenting with right now. Here are some reasons why I think teens are vaping right now. Number one, they want to fit into their crowd. Maybe the people in the places that you're hanging out do this, and you naturally may feel drawn to be a part of what's going on instead of being the odd duck out, right? We all want to belong. We all want to be part of something cool and trendy, and sometimes vaping may appear that way, right? It's a bit edgy, it's cool, it's furry like Gizmo, right? So that social pressure leads you to try it out and use it. Number two, it looks fun and interesting. Man, there are all sorts of flavors, right? Like bubble gum, candy, and dessert, and the whole vape is this little electric piece of technology, right? That seems interesting, and honestly, it's marketed as harmless. Number three, it seems safe. Most teens think that vaping is safer than cigarettes, which by the way isn't true. But for a while, vaping was even marketed as a way for people to quit smoking. So the perception is, hey, this is actually gonna help me. Yeah, said the snake before they bit you, right? Anyways, four, vaping works. What do I mean by that? That sounds a little fishy, right? Many vaping juices contain things like nicotine, THC, other known poisons, toxic chemicals, carcinogens that enter the body with every puff. Nicotine, THC, and other chemicals quickly reach the brain and cause the brain to release this chemical called dopamine. Well, dopamine, depending on where it's released in your brain, is often called the feel-good or the reward chemical in the brain. Similar to smoking, drinking alcohol, or using other drugs that interact with our nervous system, when people vape, they may feel better in the moment, more relaxed, maybe even more calm. This reward, kind of like giving a dog a treat for something when they do something right, teaches our body and brain to desire more of that thing. This doesn't mean that you're morally weak or that you have an addictive personality. It just means that you have a brain. Let me explain. Your lovely brain is a pattern-making machine. From the moment you're born to the day you die, your brain is always making patterns. The more you repeat a pattern, the more unconscious that pattern becomes. In other words, your brain is always creating shortcuts. Think of walking, running, writing, balancing, jumping, doing a kickflip, a backflip, kicking a soccer ball, playing the piano, drawing, driving your car. You've now done these things so many times that you don't even have to consciously think about doing them. Your body just automatically does it effortlessly. This is basically how a behavior becomes a habit and sometimes can become an addiction. When you use chemicals like nicotine, THC, alcohol, and other drugs, this pattern happens much quicker and more powerfully because of how that awesome brain of yours interacts with that drug. Wow, did I just put you to sleep? If I did, come on back, my friend, as I'm just getting started. So that's what I mean by vaping works. Vaping will release the chemicals which will create the pattern, and that pattern can become more intense and become more of a physical dependence and a mental and social addiction. Just a couple of quick thoughts there that maybe are a little bit like Psychology 101. Listen, I am not a fear monger, I promise. I respect you. I respect your ability to determine the quality of life that you want to live. And one of my big personal objectives for why I create these videos is that I hope that you will make the kind of choices in your life that are wise, intelligent, and that will elevate your options and opportunities. So I'm making this presentation to you right now in the hopes that you will consider what it is that you will do when you're faced with the choice to vape, or even if now you're vaping now, deciding whether you want to continue it or to quit it. All right, let me dive into why vaping is not the vibe, my friends. Number one, it is a mystery chemical cocktail. Have you ever played that game with the mystery jelly beans? You know, the ones that sometimes taste like skunk, like burnt rubber, wet dog, stink bug, liver and onions, toothpaste, barf, booger? Who comes up with these? Old bandage, stinky socks, dead fish, rotten eggs? Well, to be incredibly honest, that's what you're getting at the vape shop. Okay, maybe not the stinky socks. Man, these juices that people are creating are not regulated. You don't have some like chemist in the back testing to see if these chemicals work together. E-cigarettes contain chemicals that can cause irreversible lung damage, alter the brain, and increase the risk of you becoming sick or staying sick. In addition to all of the chemicals that are in the juices, sometimes people find color dyes, nicotine, THC, essential oils, and like traces of medicine. Vaping is like inhaling a mystery mix of chemicals, some that you can't even pronounce. Anyways, they are not meant for your lungs. Number two, your brain's still under construction. Studies have shown that teens are more susceptible to addiction than adults because their brains are still developing. Think of your brain as a super cool new video game console. Vaping is like messing with the wires while it's still being built. It can mess up your memory, learning, and mood. Not exactly the power up you want, right? Number three, your lungs are not smoke machines. They are not smokestacks. Lungs are these super cool air filters for your body. Vaping is like dumping a bunch of stuff into them. You'll end up coughing, wheezing, and you could literally end up with permanent lung damage. Do yourself a solid. Just don't start. Or if you're in it, consider ending it. Number four, your brain, your body, and your wallet will thank you later. Vaping drains your wallet faster than your battery percentage after a full day of Pokemon hunting. Why spend your cash on something that's just gonna make you sick and go up in a cloud of smoke? See what I did right there? Yeah. Why begin something that almost 100% of the people who have done it and quit regret? Learn from the mistakes of others instead of repeating them and expecting different outcomes. Remember that silly movie that I introduced you to earlier? Gremlins? You know, with Gizmo, that cute, furry little critter that in the end almost destroyed the entire town? I know I'm being a bit dramatic. Your vaping isn't gonna bring the entire town to its knees. Or is it? No, it won't, but at least by the end of this video, you'll be more educated, more aware of what you're getting yourself into. So next time someone offers you a vape, just remember, you're too smart, too cool, and too future-focused to fall for that trap. My friend, keep your vibes healthy and your lungs clear, and go be awesome without that vape cloud.